Bravest Face by JeffMango.
You know something's wrong the minute you smell cigarette smoke in your apartment. As you step through the door, the acrid smell stings your nostrils, and the smoky haze in the living room tells you it's fresh. Sighing, you set down your violin case and creep toward your bedroom door. The smell intensifies as you approach the room, so you know she's in there. You open the door slowly, peering inside.
Tavi, everything all right?
One look at the mare tells you it's not. Her mane is disheveled, and the fur of her face is matted with tear streaks. She holds a cigarette up to her mouth with shaking hooves, lips quivering as she puffs on it.
Tavi?
She whips around to glare at you, her eyes reddened and swollen.
Get out!
Tavi, I just want to help.
Out!
She grabs the nearest object to her and chucks it at your head. You duck, and the object goes sailing through the doorway, smashing against the wall behind you. She picks up another thing to throw, and you slam the door.
Just go away! I hate you!
Something slams into the other side of the door. You sigh and kneel to pick up the pieces of what she threw at you. It's a framed photograph of you and her taken on your anniversary. The picture shows you kneeling down with your arm around Octavia, both of you standing in the arching golden interior of the Canterlot Performance Hall. You carry the picture and the pieces of its frame to the living room, sitting down on the couch with it. That was such a good day. Octavia still had her episodes then, but they were less heartbreaking somehow. You'd think you'd be used to them by now, but each one is equally heartbreaking. For a while, it looked like she was getting better. But if what you just saw is any indication, she's got a long way to go. You open a window and try to fan some of the smoke out of your apartment. Binging on those things has to be terrible for Octavia. She only ever smokes them when she gets like this, though. Once the living room air is decently clean, you collapse back onto the couch, staring up at the ceiling. You suppose you should go check on Octavia again. She probably hasn't calmed down yet, but you'd like to be there for her when she does. Things can get ugly when she does. You head to the kitchen first and prepare a nice BLT, broccoli, lettuce, and tomato for her, along with a glass of lemonade. Hopefully, some food will pacify her. You carry the food back to her room and knock on the door. Silence. Somehow, that's even more eerie than if she had screamed at you again. You nudge the door open again, finding Octavia still in bed, now with her back turned to you.
Hey, Tavi. I brought you some food. It's a BLT, your favorite sandwich. You want it?
She doesn't answer. Instead, she just rolls over to glare at you. The amount of sheer hatred in those reddening purple eyes is painful.
I said, get out!
I just want to bring you some food. Tavi, it worries me when you get like this.
Anonymous, leave!
All right. But if you want the food, I'll just leave it here.
You try to set the food on the nightstand, but Octavia smacks the plate out of your hand. It shatters on the floor, spilling bread and veggies everywhere.
I don't want your stupid food! I hate you! Now get out!
With incredible speed, Octavia brings her rear leg up to kick you in the face as you attempt to clean up the broken plate. Her hoof catches you right in the eye, your skull exploding with pain as stars fill your vision. You collapse back onto the ground, holding your hand against your now throbbing eye. Fuck, you should have known not to get too close to her. Octavia continues to glare at you for a few more seconds before flopping back onto the bed.
Get out!
All right, Tavi.
You stand up, holding both hands out in mock surrender.
I'm going.
You step out, shutting the door behind you. Back in the kitchen, you dump the pieces of the plate and vegetables into the garbage. Poor Tavi. You duck into the bathroom to examine your eye. It's swollen nicely already, purple bruising showing around the white. She really did a number on you, didn't she? You've been through worse. You run some cold water over a washcloth and step back into the hallway, where Octavia's waiting for you.
Tav, you feeling better?
She glares at you, a sure sign she isn't.
I said, leave!
This is my apartment too, Tavi. I'm not leaving.
I said, leave!
She stamps a hoof, looking like a child having a tantrum.
I'm not leaving. You should just go back to your room and wait until you're better.
I'm not going until you leave!
You turn your back on Octavia.
Still not leaving. Just go to your room until you're better. I'll be out here if you...
Octavia tackles you from behind, gaining enough momentum to knock you to the ground. She begins pummeling your face and chest with her hooves, shrieking at you all the while.
Get out, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you!
Tabby! Cut it out!
You grab her and pin her forelegs to her sides, pulling her against your chest so she can't thrash around. She starts biting your neck.
Ow, fuck!
You spin her around, wrapping her pony body tightly in your arms, immobilizing her. She continues to struggle, but you're a good deal stronger than she is.
Let me go! Let me go! I hate you! I hate you!
She gnashes her teeth as she tries to bite your fingers, flinging her slobber everywhere. It's actually starting to become difficult to hold on to her. You may be stronger than tiny Octavia is, but she's wriggly as hell and her silky fur makes her slippery. As such, you tighten your grip around her. Not too tight, though. You don't want to hurt her.
Fuck you, Anon!
Octavia's words devolve into nothing but screams of fury as she tries to squirm free. She slams her head back into your chin, and you taste blood in your mouth. She does it again, only this time you get your face out of the way, and her skull whacks against your chest. It hurt, but it's nothing you can't handle. She does it again, and again, and again, until you start to feel she might damage her own neck. You roll onto your side, pinning her head against the ground with yours. Your legs wrap around her hind legs, securing them. Completely immobile, Octavia has nothing to do but quiver and snarl as she struggles. You hold her tightly, making absolutely sure she has no way of hurting you, or herself. Finally, you feel her fit begin to subside. Octavia's voice cracks, and she goes silent for a minute, before bursting into bitter tears and going limp in your grasp. Realizing that her fit is past, you loosen your grip on Octavia and sit up. She's crying so hard she can barely breathe, gasping for breath and sniveling as she soaks your shoulder in her tears. You hold Octavia in your lap as she cries, petting her mane with one hand. Your jaw, eye, and chest still ache like hell, but you can deal with it. Octavia's a whimpering mess, blubbering words that you can't quite make out.
I'm sorry.
It's alright. I've got you. You're safe now.
Octavia continues to bawl, burying her face in the crook of your neck.
I'm so sorry.
I know you are. I know. I forgive you.
You lay your head on top of hers.
Shh. It's alright.
Octavia cries and cries until your shoulder is drenched in her tears. The little mare is reduced to a shivering wreck, clinging desperately to your chest.
I'm such a terrible pony.
No, you're not. You're a great pony.
No, I'm horrible.
She squeezes her eyes shut, pressing her face into your neck.
I hurt you again, didn't I?
Just a little.
She looks up, her eyes red and watery, and notices the mess she's made of your face. Her eyes widen in shock.
Oh, Celestia, no, your face, oh, please no.
She lets her head fall back to your arm.
I'm garbage. I'm the worst pony ever, aren't I?
No, you're my absolute favorite pony in the whole world.
But your face.
You wave away her concern, though the ache in your eye is still pretty bad.
It wasn't your fault, Tabby.
I know, I still hurt you though. What kind of a mare friend does this to a stallion?
A sick mare friend. But you're not going to be a sick mare friend forever. Right, Tabby? The doctor said they've got a new medicine that they think will help.
Hopefully more than the last 4 did, you think to yourself. She nods, smearing more fluid over your shirt.
Now come on, let's get you washed up.
Octavia's dead weight in your arms as you carry her into the bathroom, and she remains limp as you lower her onto the bathroom floor. You start the tub, filling it with some nice warm water, and sit on the floor next to it, holding Octavia in your lap. She's become completely unresponsive, but you continue stroking her mane, hoping to give her at least a little comfort. When the tub's most of the way full, You pick Octavia up again and slowly lower her into the water. She squeaks in relief as the warmth envelops her legs, though she remains limp. Holding her head above the water, you scrub the dried tears and sweat from Octavia's fur, and then wash the smell of cigarettes from her hair. By the time she's nice and clean, your shirt is soaked, though. You continue to hold her there, letting her enjoy the comfort of a warm bath.
Anon,
Yeah, Tab?
let me drown.
No, Tabby. I'm not going to let you drown.
I'm garbage. I'm a worthless, awful pony. Just let me go.
Nope.
This is what I deserve, Anonymous.
No, it's not. You're a good pony, and I'm not going— Ah!
Octavia's teeth close around your hand, causing you to reflexively drop her head. She slips beneath the surface of the water, bubbles rising to the surface.
Shit! Tabby!
You reach into the water and try to grab her. Octavia flails, splashing water everywhere as she tries to keep you from rescuing her. This is bad. 2 episodes in a row? This hasn't happened before. You manage to get a hold of Octavia's midsection and pull her out of the tub. She thrashes like she never has before, her slick wet fur making it nearly impossible to hang on to her. Suddenly, she ceases her struggles, grabbing your face in her hooves. Her pupils have gone to pinpoints, and her left eye is twitching badly.
Anonymous, please, just kill me.
She surprises you enough that your grip slackens, if just a little.
I don't deserve any of this. Please, just let me die.
Octavia arches her back and twists out of your grip, plummeting back towards the tub. Her head smacks the metal side with a sickening thud.
Oh, fuck. Tabby!
You grab her back up again, panic rising in your chest. She's unconscious, and blood is seeping from under her mane.
Oh, Christ. Tabby. Oh, shit.
You grab a towel and lay it against the wound on her head, trying to slow the bleeding. This is bad, really bad. You need to get her to a hospital, and fast. Why doesn't Canterlot have any phones? Tying the towel around Octavia's head as a sort of makeshift bandage, you sprint to the front door, pulling it open.
Ambulance! Somebody call an ambulance!
Ambulance? I got you, buddy. Just hold on.
He shoots off into the city, and you sprint back to Octavia. The towel has a large red stain growing on it now, and Octavia looks pale through her gray coat.
No, come on. Tabby, just stay with me.
You cradle her in your lap, making sure to hold her steady. It's at least 10 minutes before an ambulance finally arrives, teams of unicorns in electric blue uniforms loading Octavia onto a stretcher. You follow them out, stepping into the ambulance behind your unconscious mare friend. The team of ponies pulling it speed away, dragging you towards the hospital. Each beat of your heart feels like a bass drum, and your mouth bears the acidic taste of adrenaline.
Come on, Tabby.
You lay your hand on her hoof as the hospital grows nearer. When you reach the hospital, the medical ponies immediately wheel Octavia inside. You're not allowed to follow her, as expected, and are forced to take a seat in the waiting room instead. The next 2 hours are the longest of your life. You try to read one of the various magazines, but you can't even focus on the words for more than a second or two. Eventually, you end up vigorously pacing up and down the waiting room until one of the nurses says you're giving her a headache. You slow your pace, staring off into the distance.
Please be okay, Tabby.
When the doctors finally allow you into her room, you practically trample them as you rush inside. Octavia lies still in her bed, her head bandaged, and an IV drip attached to her foreleg.
Is she gonna be okay?
Her injuries were not serious. However, I'd like to talk to you about a few things.
Your stomach drops at the tone of his voice. This isn't going to be a pleasant talk, is it? The doctor levitates a chair over to you and pulls one out for himself. The two of you sit across from each other at the foot of Octavia's bed, and he levitates a clipboard in front of his face.
I've been checking through Miss Melody's medical records. It appears she is stricken by a very unusual case of schizophrenia. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I'm assuming that's what led to these injuries?
You nod solemnly.
I see.
The doctor puts down his clipboard.
Mr. Anonymous, you care about this pony deeply, I assume?
You nod again, suddenly aware of how exhausted you are.
I see. Well, I'm starting to wonder if you are properly equipped to care for this mentally ill mare.
A spark of anger flares in your chest.
What?
Your tone is harsher than intended. The doctor holds up his hooves in a pacifying gesture.
Easy. I understand that you care for Miss Octavia very much, but you are a single untrained stallion, Mr. Anonymous. This mare requires much more care than I feel you may be able to provide.
You nod for the third time, trying to calm yourself down.
What exactly are you saying?
I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen a case like this before. As far as I can tell, this is the first time one of Miss Octavia's outbursts has injured her.
Yes.
The doctor adjusts his glasses, staring into you with a piercing blue gaze. You reflexively scoot a bit closer to Octavia.
Look, Mr. Anonymous, it's not my intent to separate the two of you. However, if Miss Octavia should suffer further injuries as a result of her illness, it may be necessary for her to be institutionalized.
The look he gives is apologetic, though stern.
It is not my intention to come between the two of you, Mr. Anonymous. However, if you do care about this pony, I trust you will do what is best for her.
He stands, sliding his chair back into the corner.
If not, well, that choice may need to be made for you. I'm sorry.
With that, he turns to leave. Alone with Octavia, you scoot your chair to the side of her bed. Exhaustion overtakes you, and you lean your head into your hands. What are you going to do now? What if this wasn't just a particularly bad episode? What if Octavia's actually getting worse? So much worry is now coiled in your stomach that you want nothing more than to go to sleep. But the same worry makes it impossible to relax. So you just sit there at Octavia's bedside, head in your hands as you whisper pleas to whatever god may govern Equestria that this'll be the last time you have to take her to the hospital. In between your fragmented prayers, you make promise after promise to yourself. You're not going to let this happen to her again. Next time, you'll be more careful not to let her hurt herself. No, you'll be more than careful. You'll make absolutely certain nothing like this ever happens to her again. Lifting your head, you place a hand on Octavia's withers. She's breathing steadily and peacefully. No sign of pain or worry on her pretty face.
I won't let this happen to you again, Tabby.
You trail your hand along her cheek and brush her mane away from her eyes.
I'm going to take care of you. I won't let them put you in a home.
Bending down, you kiss the tip of her snout.
I promise.
You must have fallen asleep at some point, because the next thing you know, Octavia's hoof is prodding you awake. You straighten your back out of your chair, your neck and shoulders stiff. The hospital room is dark, but you can still make out Octavia's outline in the darkness. She rolls over to face you, and her hoof is currently jabbing your thigh.
Anon, wake up. Anon.
You yawn, stretching your sore muscles.
Tav? What's up?
Where are we? I'm scared.
You grab her hoof in your hand, giving her a comforting little squeeze.
It's just the hospital, Tabby. Don't worry, you're safe.
The hospital? What happened?
Her other hoof explores her body in the darkness until she feels the bandage on her head.
Did I? Oh, Celestia.
She lets her head fall back to the pillow, her eyes staring up at the ceiling.
It was a really bad one, wasn't it?
Kinda, yeah.
You hear her sniffle before she lets out a little sob. Immediately, you lean forward in your chair, wrapping her gently in your arms.
Hey, don't cry.
I'm sorry, Anonymous.
Everything's okay.
I'm sorry you have to put up with this.
Shh.
You slowly rock Octavia, petting the top of her mane as you do so. Her pompadour's lost a lot of its poofiness after the day's tribulations, but her hair is as soft as ever.
Don't worry about me right now. What matters is that you're okay.
You wipe some of the tears from Octavia's eyes and kiss the bridge of her snout.
You are okay, right?
She nods.
My head hurts a little, but I'll manage.
Good to hear.
You start to let go of her.
Wait! Can you just hold me a little longer?
Of course.
You wrap your arms tighter around her, laying her head on your shoulder. Octavia's crying fades, replaced by smooth, peaceful breathing. She's not sleeping, but at least she's calm now. You lay her back on the bed and sit back in your seat. Octavia pulls the thin blanket up around her, trying to get comfortable on her stiff hospital bed. For a good half hour, the only sound in the room is the soft ticking of a clock just above the door. Its rhythm is soothing, in a strange way. Even after your nap, you're pretty tired, and the thought of your bed back home is tempting, but...
Anonymous?
Yeah, Tav?
You don't have to stay here with me. You need your rest too.
Me? Nah, I don't need sleep.
You lay your hand on her thigh.
Anon, please. After what I did to you today, you really shouldn't be making any sacrifices for me. Just go home and rest. I'll be here in the morning.
She turns away from you, pulling the blankets up to her neck.
Tav.
You place your hand on her back.
I'm not going to abandon my favorite pony while she's in the hospital, even if she might have tried to kick my face in this morning. So you're stuck with me, cutie.
You lean in and kiss the tip of her ear, making it flick. Octavia sighs, rolling over to face you. You lay your head on the mattress, your face only a few inches from Octavia's. There's something comforting in the way her warm breath washes over your face. Even in the darkness, her purple eyes seem to bore into you, and you feel as if you're losing yourself in their depths. There are worse places to be lost.
Anon, I just don't understand you sometimes. What in Equestria could you possibly see in a freak like me?
Tabby, come on.
I'm serious. All I ever do is hurt you. Or myself. What in me is worth all this trouble?
You cup her cheek in your hand, wiping tear stains from beneath her eye with your thumb.
Name one other pony who could play all 7 movements of Don Patricia's Felicita del Cavallo by memory and not make mistakes on the trills.
What? What does that have to do with...
Can you name any other pony who could learn double bass's 4th concerto in a single day and play flawlessly before an entire auditorium of ponies?
None.
Octavia shuffles around under the blankets, moving her face closer to you. Her nose is just barely touching yours now.
I get what you're saying. I do. But who cares how good of a musician I may be? In the end, I'm still a burden. A burden that someone like you shouldn't have to bear.
She closes her eyes, her breath washing over your chin as she sighs.
Tabby, that's exactly what I've been trying to tell you. You're not a burden.
Your hand moves to the back of her neck, brushing her mane away from her withers.
You're amazingly talented, and your talent has brought joy to so many ponies. You're beautiful and intelligent, and you care deeply about the ones you love. Yes, you can be difficult sometimes, I won't lie, but it's not your fault. You never did anything to deserve this, Octavia. It's just shitty luck, but in a way, the fact you could be such a great pony even with everything in life trying to mess you up, it's amazing.
You close the final inches between your mouth and Octavia's, planting a little kiss on her lips.
And so are you.
Octavia sighs, and you can see in her eyes that she still doesn't quite believe you.
Anon.
You cut her off by kissing her again.
Shh. None of that talk right now. Octavia, I wouldn't have stayed with you this long if there wasn't something special about you. So, even if you can't trust yourself, just trust me. Trust me that you're worth something. Okay, pretty pony?
This time, Octavia kisses you, placing a quick little peck right on the tip of your nose.
Thank you, Anonymous.
She snuggles into her pillow, pulling the blankets tighter around her.
And thank you for staying with me. I know I don't let you know this nearly enough, but you're really important to me.
You can tell she's holding back tears.
It kills me to see how much I can hurt you. But knowing that you'll stay with me, it makes me so happy, Anonymous. Thank you.
Octavia nuzzles your cheek and kisses your neck.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tab. Of course you're welcome. You mean more to me than anything in this world.
Octavia gives you a genuine smile for the first time that day, her eyes seeming to sparkle in the dark. There's not enough room on the bed for you to join Octavia, but you leave your head lying on the mattress and wrap an arm around her, allowing her to awkwardly curl up against you. Octavia's breathing gradually slows, and you find your eyelids growing heavy as well. You bury your face in Octavia's stomach, inhaling the clean, feminine scent of her fur as you slowly drift back to sleep. You never thought you could love something as much as you love her right now.